This mugshot captures Eddie Adams mere seconds before his final breath. In 48 hours, he'd unleash a 14-month spree of carnage across the Midwest. 7 dead, 3 of them officers, 2 daring prison escapes. How did a barber become America's most feared outlaw? The answer lies in darkness. Imagine, you're shackled on a midnight train, bound for life behind bars. Then, without warning, nothing. He vanishes. How did Eddie Adams slip through the cracks of justice, and why? Born William Joseph Wallace on April 23, 1887, near Hutchinson, Kansas, he lost his father by age 7. His mother's remarriage brought a stepfather Eddie despised. Farm work, hot sun, back-breaking labor felt suffocating. He dreamed of something bigger. By his early 20s, he'd mastered the barber's chair and reinvented himself as Eddie Adams. Handsome, charming, he dyed his hair darker to hide boyhood freckles. Wichita's streets became his stage. He cut hair by day, fed his restless ambition by night. It was here that he hooked up with John Callahan, a smooth-talking bootlegger. Liquor, stolen cars, petty theft. Eddie was drawn into the era's underground. His wife, Mildred, begged him to stop, but as infidelities mounted, she walked away, leaving Eddie alone and hungry for more. What broke the barber's soul? Was it humiliation, rebellion, or something darker? September 5th, 1920. Eddie Adams teams up with Ray and Walter Majors, 2 brothers with violent reputations. They target a gambling den on Grand Avenue in Kansas City, Missouri. Shots ignite. Frank Gardner, a mid-level bookie and gambler, lies dead in a pool of blood. Witnesses scatter as police sirens wail. The trio is arrested the next morning. In February 1921, Judge Stratton Graham sentences Eddie to life in Missouri State Penitentiary. Ray and Walter bargain down to 5 years each, hoping to trade testimony for leniency. Missouri thought the nightmare was over. They didn't know it had barely begun February 1921. Eddie Adams, clad in prison stripes, rides on a cattle car heading to Jefferson City. Guards relax their watch. Then, he leaps. Into freezing air, he tumbles between tracks, vanishing. 6 days later, on February 11th, he's sighted with accomplice Julius Finney, robbing a general store and bank in Cullison, Kansas, taking cash, tools, whatever they can carry. A posse corners them after a high-speed car crash. Bullets fly, men shout. Julius is wounded. Eddie is shackled and hustled off to Lansing Prison in Kansas, receiving an extra 10 to 30 years on top of his Missouri life term. Less than 2 weeks after freedom, he's back in chains. But even chains couldn't stop him. August 13th, 1921. Lansing's power plant sputters, then dies. In the blackout, Eddie Adams and a small band of inmates slip free, scaling walls by moonlight. Frank Foster, George Weisberger, and 3 others follow him. Outside, driver Billy Fintelman fires up a stolen car. They vanish on back roads. Within weeks, the newly reborn Adams gang robs banks in Rose Hill and Hayesville, Kansas, netting around $10,000. In Hayesville, they pistol whip 82-year-old James Creville over cash discrepancies. He dies days later from skull fractures. This wasn't foolish violence. It was calculated terror. The Midwest trembled. Prison walls meant nothing to Adams. By late September, the Adams gang strikes Iowa. In Osceola, they smash open a bank vault, stealing $500 in silver. No mercy shown. On October 8th, farmer Charles William Jones spots a suspicious car. He phones Sheriff Ed West. Within minutes, deputies arrive, guns drawn, but gang members open fire. Jones, a law-abiding man aiding authorities, is gunned down on his own driveway. This murder had no strategic value, no cash targets. It spoke only of terror. In every state line crossed, Adams's violence spiked, his aim chillingly precise. If innocence offered no protection, who could stand in his way? Early November 1921. Wichita locals say they could hear police radios whispering, "Be on alert." On one dark avenue, two motorcycle patrolmen spot a car idling suspiciously. Patrolman Albert Lee Young, 32, 2 years on the force, stepped forward. Shots erupted. He fell, riddled with bullets. Some claim Eddie fired the fatal round. Others say it was Frank Foster. What's certain? Young died protecting his city, his revolver empty, his promise unfulfilled. His death made headlines. Officer slain in city streets. Wichita held its breath, adrenaline mixed with fear. Was this personal vengeance or a statement? No lawman was safe. If this dark saga grips you, hit subscribe for more chilling true crime tales. October 15th, 1921. A second confrontation in Murray, Iowa. Farmer William Bill Jacobs, known for shoeless walks and good humor, spotted the gang. He ran toward deputies, arm outstretched. Gunfire broke out. Jacobs fell, unarmed. Witnesses said he tried to plead for mercy. Jacobs's death shredded small-town faith. News traveled on iron horses and telegraph lines. Kind farmer killed. The Midwest gasped. Comfort bore no shield when Adams was in town. What haunted Adams more? Loyalty, rage, or sheer bloodlust? November 10th, 1921. The Adams gang pulls off its most audacious crime, robbing a Santa Fe Express train near Ottawa, Kansas. They board between cars, guns leveled at the engineer and brakeman. With precision born of desperation, they make off with $35,000 in cash and bonds, equivalent to over $500,000 today. The heist stunned the nation. Trains were America's arteries. Striking one was pure defiance. What drives a man to grand larceny on wheels? Ego, profit, or the pure thrill of domination? November 20th, 1921. Flush from the train robbery, they cruise Wichita streets with two girlfriends. Officers pull them over. A gunshot rings out. Patrolman Robert Fitzpatrick, 28, is struck in the chest. No one knows who fired. The women screamed. The men scattered. Later that night, they scrape together gas and head for a farm. Oldham awakens to break in. He resists and Eddie Adams shoots him dead. On November 21st, a patrol ambush wounds Officer Ray Kasner. Then, again, they vanish. Each act more brutal, each escape more brazen. Boundaries blurred between bandit and phantom. November 22nd, 1921, Wichita stops. Hundreds of officers march behind Patrolman Fitzpatrick's casket. The streets are empty, an ideal moment for Eddie Adams to slip away. He plans to rent a car and disappear, but garage owner Carl Hoffman recognizes him, calls the police. 3 detectives burst in. Adams opens fire, killing Detective Charles Hoffman in an instant, wounding Officer Charles Bowman. Behind a support beam, Officer D.C. Stuckey fires 3 rounds, each striking Adams in the chest. At 34, the outlaw falls. His reign of terror ended in blood. The next day, over 9,000 people file past his coffin, some out of morbid curiosity, others seeking closure. 18 alleged accomplices are arrested. 4, including Frank Foster, get life terms. Families of victims attend gatherings, some too grief-stricken to speak. Kansas, Missouri, Iowa could finally exhale, but the scars ran deep. Towns changed forever. A barber turned bandit. 2 escapes, 7 killed, countless lives shattered. Eddie Adams vanished not in mystery, but in a hail of bullets. His story warns how charm can mask darkness and how one man's choices can doom many. For full visual storyboards and voice notes, subscribe. There are more lies and truths to uncover. This narrative is drawn from historical records, newspaper archives, and court documents. Some details conflict, and motives remain partly speculative. Viewer discretion advised. History's darkest corners may never fully clear.